All right. Episode 11, August 26th, 6:25 in the p.m. Pacific time. It's still smoky here. California owes us a summer. It's unreasonable. It's very hot. Actually, it's been really nice the last couple of days.
Temperature-wise, like...
Temp-wise, yeah. I mean, you can't go outside, but at least it's not like 105. And...
That's just the change of the seasons, though. Like, I don't know. It's hard to really say that we're having a good time. Because I think we're ground down at this point. Like, those fools owe us, like, 5 summers if we really want to get down to brass tacks.
That's my thing, like, too. I'm not trying to be like, I want to get paid for everything. I'm just saying, by now, it's one whole summer. That's freaking fair. That's fair. But, alright, so, I'm not alone on this podcast. There's someone here with me, and, a week ago, I texted this person and was like, hey, do you want to hang out? And then I got a text message back, and the way I read the text message was, yeah, I'll stop by after work, and I'll grab some beers. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I got all, like, excited and ready to hang out. And you never showed up. And I was like, dude, you fucking pothead. You fucking pothead. And,
So what really happened with all of that? Because I remember coming over...
Hold on. So, and just before I look like a total jackass here, it wasn't outside the realm of possibility that Blake totally forgot.
Yeah.
And
I'll either show up at your door,
yeah,
or I'll fucking ghost you on accident.
Yeah, and I get that. So, I wait until, like, 9, 10 o'clock, and then I'm like, okay, this is obscene. Like, no one's coming. And I just did nothing. I just kind of, like, sat around waiting, and was just like... I mean, not that I had anything to do either. But, so, the next day rolls around, and it's almost been, like, 24 hours. It's been exactly 24 hours, give or take, to the time when you should have been at my house the day before. And I'm like, dude, he's not even gonna text me and be like, oh, my bad, I fucking blew you off. Like, you know, it's been 24 hours, come on. And I was like, I'm gonna go call him a fucking pothead on the internet. Like, I'm gonna go to our conversation and just blow him up. And so I go and I look at the conversation, and I reread it real quick, which thank God I did. But I reread it, and it goes, hey, you want to hang out? And he goes, yeah, I can't today, but I can come by tomorrow. I'll swing by and get some beers after work. And I was like, oh, no, tomorrow, that's today. And then it was like, and I was like, oh, no, I'm the pothead. Like, fuck, no.
God damn it.
But anyway, this is Blake. Blake Nelson. Blaze Nelson. Break Nelson.
Blade Nelson.
Blade Nelson.
For the Cuddy Fools.
Yeah, dude, you've had a lot of faces.
I think what it is I've just been around a lot of people. People will give you their own mess. Like, every one of those names, I didn't, like, come up with the nickname. Everybody knows that's, like, the biggest faux pas.
I probably came up with, like, 3 of them.
Yeah, totally. And I don't know what it is, the below.
Be lazy.
Be lazy.
That one only worked after Blaze had been set for a long time.
It was the second
and
term.
It would only really work if, like, somebody had... Because you're pretty, in my opinion, you're a very active fellow. And so it's hard to catch you, like, being lazy. So if somebody catches you even just mention... I don't know. It's funny. I think that's funny.
It does work me out. People love that, though. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I've had a few jobs where I was friends with my boss, and, like... Because they're always like, oh, I'm gonna joke with this guy. And then you'll be like, oh, no, I never forgot I was at work. What you mean?
Yeah.
And that really, that's like a fun way to just have fun.
Totally. Fucking, so what do you do right now with these fucking boots? Blake's boots look like the guy who hunts the velociraptor at the end of Jurassic Park and gets hunted back.
Damn, so I work at a machine shop, but I'm basically just like the bottom bitch of the machine shop, so essentially my job is to make sure everybody else's job is ready to go when they get to work. And that just involves a lot of fucking chemicals and oil, and that shit just really... it shows on your boots. These boots were tan at one point, and as you can tell, they're fucking...
Dude,
they're slicked. And these pants were once blue. Like, if you only saw this, you wouldn't even know.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Those are jeans.
These are jeans, yeah.
I thought those were Dickies.
Yeah, you thought wrong. These are just slick through. And
Dude, he's a dirty man.
I washed these yesterday, so...
Blake and I used to work at the coffee shop together. And that was, like, the best era of working there. I feel like everybody was super fun there.
Yeah, we kind of capped it off.
It got a little crazy, but it was good.
It was just the wrong balance, honestly. We were just, like... We just didn't put our, like... Our effort to the forefront, and that never, like, rubbed off. Like, there was just some dickheads there, you know, that would just rub off on you and be like, oh, I gotta
refused to take... No, it wasn't our fault. Like, the amount of enthusiasm that we all had could have been harnessed for so much, good, and, like, I'm not saying we were really bad, but I'm just, like, at the end of the day, it's like you could have, I don't know, you could have had a place where it was like, oh, those guys have been working there forever, and there's, like, a thing there, and, like, they like it, the people like them. I don't know. It could have been good.
It was good. That's the thing.
It was good, too,
Like,
yeah.
I think at the same time... Sorry, my phone's ringing.
Really?
I know. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. This is, like, the biggest fucking...
Dude, I'm on, like, episode 11.
Does this ever happen? It's impossible for it to happen while you're doing it, right? Like...
No, if somebody calls me, my whole fucking podcast turns off.
Yeah. That's your most edited
save
fucking...
right there, but I get too irritated with having the idea of having to blend two together, so I just restart it usually. I like doing like one straight shot, and I like having all the noise and the, like, you know what I mean?
It's too real, though, you know what I mean?
One time I went through the drive-thru. It's funny. I like it, because I'm just like, I'm not about to bring anything to, like, the world of recorded shit that isn't already in there, you know what I mean? I'm not, like, wacky radio guy, and I'm not full of facts and shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not an expert on anything, really. So, hoping to God that one of my jokes roundabouts in, like, a half hour is that's all I got, dude.
No, it's okay. I think about quality a lot, just, like... The idea of, like, being able to put your name on something, like, your legal name that somebody could, like, fact-check to you, like...
I just changed it on my thing, actually, even though I was so, like, all about being, like, put your name on here so that when people Google search your name, they see this. And then, I don't know, I got dumped. My job started being extremely nice to me, and I've already trashed them on the podcast so hard. And not in a bad way, just, like...
Enough to be anonymous.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I see too much sometimes, I think. Or, like, I say too much about what I see instead of forgetting it.
Damn, I have the same thing about, like, social media where, like, I'll get to, like, I don't know, I have, like, a really weird track record where I'll, like, kind of, like, get, like, a nice little, like, page going, then I'm like, fuck it. Like, I don't like this.
You
like,
totally Oprah on...
Yeah, I'll come back with, like, facial surgery, like, on at least Instagram, and then... Recently,
Blake's back.
I kind of, like, I just brought it down a notch where I was like, I'm not going to delete, but I'm going to take all of my, like, self-images off of here just because, like, I want it to be, like, strictly, even for the people that are following me, like, essentially anonymous, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just a paranoid product of our times, I guess. I don't know.
I've
seen enough.
When my dad tried to, like, come talk to me, the one time he did, and it was because his mom died, and on her deathbed was like, you have to go talk to your children.
Whoa.
And he just came over to my house at like 8 o'clock in the morning one morning, and it had to be then because he had a flight.
Damn, you just squeezed it in, too.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It was whack. It was super whack.
Anyway, so you did that, and what happened?
I did what?
Your dad came over?
Oh, fucking, what were we just talking about right before that?
Just the quality of, like, anonymity that you want to keep on the internet?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Dude, sorry, I'm high.
No, it's okay. We smoked weed before we got on here.
I'm gonna smoke more weed.
Yeah.
But,
there might be a piss break somewhere in here.
Yeah, definitely. He, like, comes in and sits down in my living room and, like, tries to, like, small talk me about things in my house and stuff. And I was just like, dude, what are you doing here right now? You know? It's like 8 o'clock in the morning.
He just tried to stop in for coffee.
Yeah. And I was, like, hell-bent on kicking his ass because he had called me to come over and talk. And so I got, like, I for reals got mentally prepared to whoop his ass, and then he was, like, a lot smaller than me. I don't know, it was weird. But he was like, yeah, I searched all over for you on Facebook and stuff, and, like, blah, blah, and I'm just like, dude, that does not constitute, like, an effort.
No.
I don't think. Like, and I loved that it was like, oh, yeah, you can't just, like, tick, and, like, look it up. I don't know. So,
yeah.
Did you ever Google your name?
Yeah, actually, the last time I Googled my name...
Is it a bunch of school stuff?
Yeah, it's a bunch of school stuff. It's, like, just stuff that I was doing at the paper there, which I'm pretty okay with. It's, like... If, like a employer were to ever Google me and found that, they'd be like, okay. You know what I mean? They'd be like, cool. Like, something checks out.
Mine is, like, art shows that were in the paper or, like, were advertised or anything like that. And then, what else is in there? I think that's it, really, when you look me up. It's probably not, like, a good representation of me, but I'm fine with that. It's like all Holland Project stuff that's in there.
No. That's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the Holland Project is kind of like a cornerstone of, like, street-level respectability around here. I have, like, a pretty, like, solid look on them. Like, I legitimately had to, like, kind of bully some people into being, like, why? Like, when this weird shit popped up with the Holland Project, where they were, like, everybody was like, yo, like, the Holland Project has some fucking, like, sus stuff going on there. And it was like, I don't know, I just had to be the person that was like, yo, you know, it's like 4 people that run that place.
What are you referring to, though? Also?
I can't even remember. It was like...
It was a while ago?
It was a while back. I think it was like... Essentially, the situation was like, they wanted the Holland Project to, like, police the space of people more, like, kind of, like, vet the scene more. And I was just like, who's doing that? Like, you want, like, some, like, legitimate, like, this is what your argument is like, you should be the one that just says, hey, don't go to the show.
But also defund the police.
Yeah, probably.
Basically, what we want is a big buff dude here to, like, separate something if anything.
No, everybody wants, like, private police. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
That'll be cool, because then you can get murdered and it'll be legal, and you won't have anyone to hold accountable.
Yeah. I remember something blew up recently where it was like this, like, crazy, like, tactical guy that works at, like, a fucking corner store in Oakland hella murked somebody.
Oh,
and then
damn.
just, like, a week later that somebody went in and that fool just, like, straight had his M4 on his chest, was just, like, chilling at the fucking, just, like, was back on job, you know what I mean?
Dude, every time lately that there's, like, a person threatening some sort of they'll use like old lingo too, like a revolt or a revolution or something. Like it'll always be like the opposite of what Antifa and Black Lives Matter is doing, but it'll seriously. And this is probably just like the way the news rolls too. There's probably a lot of people that don't look like this, but every single one of them is a bald dude with a goatee, and it's just like, dang, god dang it. And I'm just saying god dang it for like white dudes, because I'm just. That sucks.
No, it's so bad right now. Like I think about just how, like sometimes memes really just like will hit the point on like a weird tip. You know what I mean? Where you're like, damn.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
if
why they're
anybody
so
else reads it
popular,
like this, like, damn. But there was one that was like, essentially like the joke was. Like, you're going to complain about this, but you got tricked by the TV to do this, you know what I mean? And that idea of being, like, tricked by, like, essentially just the spectacle of news and, like, you should be worried about this. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's so many people right now. It's like, damn, y'all are really, like, bumming everybody out.
Dude. It's a terrible vibe, too, because it's way different than, like, I don't know, it's very present. It's actually present. It feels like humor. You have to dial everything back. Everything's got to be like...
Well, it's kind of like Fox Honed, you know what I mean? Where it's like, everybody kind of just picks up on those, like Fox kind of has this weird thing where they, like, it looks like news, and it, like, sounds like news.
Yeah.
But it's, like, not... It's weird. It's like no, I don't want to say it's not news because they're definitely talking about things that happen, but it's very.
It's like what news is now.
Yeah,
I think they just through sheer ratings have led the format of the way it has to go, because people are just like, well, or everyone assumes you're not going to read the article, so the whole article is in the headline and it's all a caricature of what the story really is. Like, if you actually read the story, you're like, oh, maybe you could have titled it that, but that is like a really hard swing for a slow pitch. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Like, kind of on, like, if I wanted to move the conversation, like, I definitely want to move it towards conspiracy, so I'll just lead with that. And it's like, to me, like, Fox News is, like, the epitome of, like Russian and China influences into, like, media, just as, like, an idea. And not even to say that, like, we have some, like, Chinamen and, like, some...
No, it's, like, the tastiest propaganda, though. Like, if you're a fan of, like, what... I don't mean to say a fan, but if you, like, are into history and shit like that, and you look at what, like, especially a few fascist countries spent on their PR campaign type of shit, and then the way it was, to where it was like, we're basically at the last pages of the Bible, keeping it going type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, yeah! Yeah! And I feel like that's their vibe, too. I'm not saying they're, like, a fascist organization or anything.
No, it's all about, like, the...
But it just reminds me of that, where it's, like, a very extreme, almost, like, subgenre of what it is in. It's in this big thing, but it's, like, everyone says that, and you're like, oh, yeah, stuff like that, like, blah, blah, blah.
It's a weird thing, because I feel like to me, if there's anything to get people riled up, it's the end times. Or the, not only will you die, but the whole world is gonna die. Like, that kind of, like, feeling is packaged in so many different ways that it, like, it's obviously the best, like, PR thing, like you were saying, where it's just, like, one of the guys that I read for school, his name was Emmanuel Levinas, and he said that, like, the main, like, negative force in the world is, like, eschatology, which is the idea, or it's, like, the reason of the end, where it's, like, the end is reasoned into reality, and you can kind of, like, take that little snippet of, like, being and kind of just, like, swish it around in a million different ways and just have the spookiest shit and get people riled up for anything. Like, people are war hungry because they feel like they need to stop the end. And it's like, who needs to stop the end?
Yeah. I would love to say there's, like, a cabal of people who meet that can all fit at one table who are in charge of the happenings of everything, but I honestly think it's a bunch of different pieces. It's more like when you're playing Risk, and then you just start getting split up more and more, and then you realize, like, these dudes gotta kind of even fuck over your own dudes just to do their own thing with these dudes, and, like, so I don't know, I think it's just human nature to, like...
People love that kind of chaos, though, because they're like, that issue of, like, alright, well, standard reason won't work here. We have to do something that is, like, in the like, if somebody just took a snapshot of right now, they'd be like, uh-oh, this guy really fucked up. Like, people love that, because it's, like, the necessity of now is, like, that is, like, what really cements people to be like, I could do anything. Because right now is, like, the thing I base my actions off of. You know, and I think that it's, like, that's the weird double edge of our, like, if we want to go big, grand scheme, is, like, the double edge of our problems right now is that we have the idea that the world is ending, but also the idea that, like, anything we do right now doesn't matter. And it's like, how are you going to be angry about one thing, but not also have responsibility for right now, too? And I don't mean to be like, oh, people, like, don't live in the now. And it's like, no, people live in the now so hard.
I totally agree with that. You get the most, like, PC, vegan, anything drunk, and it's like, they'll eat a chicken wing and smash a bottle on the ground just like anybody else. People, I don't know. If there was a way to market saving the planet to, like, corporations, like, if you could sell them on that was, like, the hot shit. That shit is sexy right now. Like, house moms are going crazy for fucking climate change shit right now. If you could get that to be as, like, relevant, but also completely easy to deal with, because that's the other thing. People just don't want to deal with any bullshit. Like, that's why shows about, like, oh my god, they forgot my, like, avocado or something, and then it's like a whole half-hour show on just, like, how they got the avocado back from the waiter or some you know, it's like, people don't want to think about shit. And I think if you could, like, I don't know, that's probably what the whole thing's going down with, just, like, needing a vaccine passport, and, like, compliance is starting to become, like, cool and punk. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think
it's the responsible thing to do is comply right now, for sure. And it's like, that freaks me out. If you want, that's some conspiracy shit that I'm actually into, where I'm like,
all the real punks out here didn't get vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? Like, every punk that I know didn't get vaccinated. And not even on some,
it's not even, like, about that either.
I know it's not about that, but it is about that, too, because, like, at the end of the day, like, I think, like, I kind of gravitated towards, like, the punkest punks for a long time, where it was, like, I'm not trying to fucking sell out a fucking community space right now. I'm trying to fucking, like, see some, like, reality right now.
Yeah.
And all them fools, like...
You also have, for as long as I've known you, always sought out, like criticism, too. Like, I feel like you'll gravitate towards, like, the two dudes that are talking the most shit towards you and stuff, and, like, win them over. And
because those guys they're already talking about you. Everybody forgets that, like, bad press, good press.
But that shit's cool because, like, you're not on some confirmation bias bullshit, you know what I mean? Blake's gonna go pee over in the tree right now. He wants me to just keep the conversation rolling.
Forgive me.
Rolling. Yeah.
Update them about stuff.
I guess I'm the pothead. I got some questions for you.
Question for me?
Yeah.
Sliding on my belt. Sitting back in the solid chair. I appreciate that.
I feel like this one's not going to bounce very hard because you already talked about it just now. So
Well, let's get on to it. See what it is.
Okay. What is your favorite part of COVID, and why do you want it to go on forever?
Favorite part of COVID. That's a good question.
And why do you want it to go on forever?
That's honestly the I think just people not wanting to crowd. I think that's so clutch.
That's dope.
It does lead to weird line situations in stores, but I don't give a fuck. As growing up going to
That's just
amusement
all
parks and
mental
shit.
too. It's it all is still taking the same amount of time, but people are losing their mind because they're over by the ice
They're
cream.
I can't even see the board. I literally saw that today where somebody was fuck, I gotta make a scene because I can't see the food board right now. I'm gonna for no reason excuse myself to 4 people as I go to the fucking counter, and it's you could have just, nobody would have said anything if you just walked up and looked at it.
Yeah.
Which is I'm not saying that person's in the wrong for doing that. I get the whole
No, there's a civilized way to still be swim upstream and shit like that. There's still a way to do it with a little bit of grace.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the fact that the idea of sociality has been thrown into the public conscious is good. Not on a what they're screaming kind of message, but just the idea that you should be thinking about the person that you bump into all over the place, because it's I don't know, that fool uses whatever you were just using, this probably the same as you, so it's I don't know, that's been pretty helpful, not for necessarily the world right now, but for me it's been a cool thing to grapple with. But
yeah, there was a lot of cool heartwarming moments of the whole thing, honestly.
yeah, I think honestly if I had to make a funny about it, I'd probably say having a second thing to be to just have a small talk about, where it's instead of being oh man, at least in Reno we have it's the weather, which at this point has turned into smoke talk, and now we could talk about
Smoke
sometimes
talk.
we'll talk about, at this point though, the feeling of COVID though has gotten to the point where if somebody brings it up, I'm just bro,
Boring.
yeah, exactly, I'm not hyped about
It's talking about UFOs now. It's you just can't possibly have anything to say that hasn't been said yet, and we're all waiting to find out.
Man, people are on some dumb shit about UFOs. I think the fact that they, welded the idea of UFOs to, what, aircraft controlmen see is, so not the reality of UFOs, kind of, for me, it's very... it's about, the interaction between your mind and something completely other. Something that's you can't reconcile what's happening right now. And with a lot of the aircraft pilot guys, it's that thing's doing something that my plane could never do. And it's no shit, because it's fucking alien. That's the reality of nature, is all you do is run into shit you can't explain.
I feel the opposite, sort of. But I also... So here's my take on it, is that I just feel anything that we see all the time is probably some shit that the CIA has had since, like, the fucking 60s or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even joking.
Read Chaos. I'm just gonna hype that book.
And
Tom O'Neill.
And, I just, like, for any reason, aliens coming to visit Earth, like, be it, like, that they farm us and we're, like, being harvested or something, or that they are on a scientific thing, or that they're on vacation, Men in Black style. Like, any of those things, I feel like if they can do all that, there's just no reason you would see them ever, period. And they're not dumb enough to, like, cause a weird middles, you know, just like, oh, cool, let's just get them looking for us, but still stay far, you know what I mean? That's so asinine, but that is the way, like, spy missions go and shit, where all of a sudden you think you saw some nukes on some satellite photo in Iraq, and
Come to find out some combines.
come to find out it's just a picture of balls up close, you know?
I'd be so pissed if the Iraq war was started over just a little fucking goof that they were playing in the office.
A little male-on-male sexual harassment.
That's honestly, like, at my job, it's so fun because everybody will just say some gay shit and I'll just, like, hit them with the 10 times gay shit and just, like, kind of send them packing.
Is it all dudes?
Oh, yeah, it's a total boys club.
That's tight.
And I kind of, like, as far as, like, it's weird. Like, have you ever seen 28 Days Later?
Yeah.
You know, at the end when they get to, like, the, like, compound, the military compound, and there's that one private that's, like, in a dress? Like, almost any...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fucking Frank Herbert of Dune kind of gets on a tip like that, where he's like, male homosexuality, like, comes about in times of war. Like, the stress of war and, like, the reality of, like, men go to war kind of, like, breeds, like, some kind of, like, repressed, like, homosexuality.
Dude, you put enough dicks in a space and a butthole on the other end of those dicks. I'm just saying.
You want to get, like, reverse...
You basically threw a bunch of Legos.
Like, reverse affirmative action, like, the whole, like, idea that we have, like, 4 women in our battalion to be the fucking fuck
Who is this
ponies.
bitch fucking screaming, man?
We
She lost her
scream
cat
right
or
now?
something? Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
she lost her cat.
She comes over here, I'm putting her on the fucking podcast.
Oh, damn, we got 2 people on the
Oh
scene.
my god.
Look for the...
Anyway. Oh, shit. Maybe it's a kid.
It must be a dog. Right between cat and kid is a dog.
No, we got a helicopter coming in. Dude, this is chaos.
Shit, how'd that fool get over here?
Fucking cat's freaking out.
We're having a true panic situation. Fucking diesel truck coming by. Diesels are the most stressful fucking creature to manhandle. I must admit.
Oof.
I can't, like, the other day I saw this fucking diesel. That fool straight had, like, a fucking 1-room apartment on the back of that fucking engine. It was crazy. It looked like, you know how, like, a regular, it's like, oh, that fool has a bed back there?
Yeah.
This fool had, like, maybe, like, 3 or 4 of those stacked up. Of, like, death.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Just hanging off the back of that John. And I was just like...
Like a mullet?
Yeah, like this, this fool probably had a fucking waterbed that was in the shape of a circle that rotated in the back of that fucking thing. With how much space that fool had.
Jesus.
I didn't know whether to be envious or to fucking talk some shit. I talk some shit, but...
Yeah. I mean... You can't really stand. Like, you gotta crawl.
No, it was tall.
You could stand.
Maybe not you. You're a little tall, but it was like, it had some like big depth, you know what I mean? I like pointed it out to somebody and they were also like, what the fuck? Like,
Regosaurus, dude.
we were making jokes about him like renting it out, you know what I mean? Like, this fool's got an extra bedroom. Like,
There's a garage and shit.
It's like, you could probably pull a car into that space.
Yeah. Alright.
Somehow.
Fuck it, dude.
It was big.
Dude, who's laughing though? That he's free.
Every lot lizard in the nation knows his name. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're like, that fool with the quadruple double wide on the back of his thing.
Oh, Big Randy? See, it's funny because Randy's really small. But
you see his rig? His rig's also named Randy.
He got so much space.
No, what would be funny is if his rig was named Little Randy.
No, his name's Ralph, but everyone calls him Big Randy because he's fucking...
He's got a big dick.
He's hung like a moose, dude. Yeah, and he knows
it's all talk downstairs,
he knows how to use it, dude. He's Big Randy, dude. All right. Is that bird still alive? And I know I already asked you this, but I just want to hear you say it.
So...
And...
It's alive.
And what are we going to do about that? And listen, you might want to show this to your girlfriend, but you're gonna want to fast forward through this part because it's gonna be about the plot to murder this bird.
I'm definitely not showing this to Tara Lynn unless it's like after Pete dies. The bird's name is Pete.
Yeah, mysteriously.
Yeah, Pete's a monosyllable.
It's just inevitable that he's going to die
after
this conversation.
I was definitely not expecting this. This wasn't on the syllabus, but he's alive, and at this point, I've had...
Tell everyone who this bird is.
This bird is... So...
And tell it, like...
There's so many strings in it.
Yeah, tell it, like, when you first had to share space with Pete first. You know what I mean?
So, literally, like...
So, Blake falls for this girl.
The bird girl... Which I didn't even know.
Twist, she has a bird.
No, that's the fucked up part is, like, I didn't even know that... Everybody was like, oh, you got the number from the bird girl? And I was like, bird girl? Come again? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're like
so
trying to
she
look
slides
at her side
in.
profile. You're like, what are you talking
There's
about?
no beak on
What
that
are you
face.
talking
Like,
about?
she's cute. What are you talking? So literally, she comes in, hits me with like the most like dream girl shit ever. Where you're just like, damn, she dropped me her number. I was not ready. I was not ready, and it was already coming off of a good weekend. Mm-hmm. I was telling people I was having a good weekend.
Yeah.
And then it just capped it off. And then she came over, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? But literally, I go over to her house, like, after we kind of, like, we're like, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to pair up. Pairing up's tight. Having a fucking buddy. Let's do it. I go over, and of course we talked about it, because I was like, hey, what's up with the bird girl moniker? I can't dig, like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, and she's like, yeah, Pete, that's my guy. Like, that's my little bird guy. This is
like a beautiful exotic bird. It looks like one of those popsicles you get from
I think
fucking
part
man.
of my big gripe with Pete for a long time was that in a similar pothead situation to what you described at the beginning was like, she told me at one point that like I mixed up that Pete was supposed to be like one of the smartest small birds, but that wasn't the case. She just said that about something else, and I like tied those two wires together. And it's like, he's not supposed to...
he was doing a lot of shit.
Yeah, I thought he was... Well,
on purpose,
I was just
purpose?
like... I was like, you should be talking right now. I want to hear some motherfucking singing. Like, I don't want to hear no screams right now. I want to hear you talking about...
this math problem or something.
I was on some, like, bro, you be slacking. Like, you should be doing tricks. Like, you should be, like, respecting that I'm, like, 90 times bigger than you. And that I can hit you and barely swap my hand, and you will be fucking...
Oh, dude, you could kill this bird with just, like, the grip strength of a toddler, I think.
It's fucked up, too. In my history as a kid, I've killed multiple... This is... Yeah, so, as a child, I have definitely, like... This is gonna sound like some serial killer shit, but as a child...
No, get it off your chest, dude.
Have killed one
You had to
gerbil
taste-
by squeezing.
Oh, wow.
As a child, though.
Damn.
As a toddler.
I was even on board. But that's a little shocking. Keep going. That's kind of like...
It's okay, my
This is like
uncle-
when you find out Dennis killed the crow, and then they're like, well, there was another crow.
My uncle, when he found out that happened, when he was like, oh, I shouldn't have let you be alone with this gerbil for the 5 minutes that I was not in the room.
5 minutes.
It was not long. When he, like, I remember, like, holding
First
it.
thing you did, you were just like, well, let's
Let's squeeze
let's see what it's got.
I just squeezed it.
Dang, one hand or two?
I think it was two. As a child.
Wow, that's evil.
I was a toddler. And I, like,
At least
also.
you weren't like jerking off and squeezing it to death.
That was later. No. Anyway.
No judgment, dude. Until you say something where I'm
He
you haven't
literally-
crossed my line yet,
after I did
but
that,
you're really close.
when he found out, he was like, "What?" And he like pulled me out of his room and like held me down and then loogied on my forehead.
Who did?
My uncle. Which
Wow.
definitely
for squeezing the gerbil. Yeah, I mean,
He had a cage for
At
it.
least you got to feel what it was like to be just like, this is against your will. Ah, you got spit raped.
Yeah.
It's okay. At least you paid a price pretty quick. You didn't just like leave feeling like, wow, I've never felt so alive. Like,
Instant repercussions are like good, you know what I mean? You don't want to let something slide. You want to find out if you fucked up as soon as you fucked up.
yeah.
Which is like not the reality of a lot of things. It'll be like 10 steps down the line and you're like, damn, I did do that one step kind of janky, didn't
Dude, we're gonna get back to the other things you've murdered. Because you gotta
The other one was a bird, but it was on accident. And it wasn't a hand strength accident. I forgot to feed it. Which is a weird way to kill a bird. But birds have a very fast metabolism.
I've had my friend's little brothers baked a chameleon one time with the heat lamp.
Okay.
And those
That's a lot.
Those ones are tragic but understandable, where it's just like a kid just can't be on top of like a thing like that.
You can't kill a mammal. Everybody agrees. Mammals are like too close, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So when I was playing baseball in Lemon Valley,
at which part?
Lemon Valley Park, it's like the one that's by the school and shit.
I played soccer there.
But my brother was playing, or it was like I had practice and then he had practice, so I would just stay there for the whole time. And, damn. Velociraptor hands, dude.
Dude, metal is the least
Blake
forgiving
looks like he put
substance.
his hands in the garbage disposal.
It's fucked up because, like, you know how people be working sometimes? They just be, like, in the grind,
Yeah.
moving around, kind of, like, got a flow to it.
Yeah.
I think Bebo kind of has, like, a very, like, safe version of that.
Yeah.
As a person that just fucks only with metal all day, you can't have your hands be doing anything but fucking doing exactly what they need to be doing.
Yeah.
And this is just the result of, like, I'm gonna try to fucking crank on this real quick. Oh, my hand slipped. Clunk.
Ugh.
Every time. This one right here was
metal
such a
just
thing.
dries you out so fucking gnarly too.
Mm-hmm.
And the only soap that works is like that orange glow shit, or like something really abrasive.
Yeah, the shit we have is called Grub Scrub.
Anyway, my brother's playing baseball at Lemon Valley Park, and I gotta wait until his practice is over for my mom to pick us up. So me and this other kid are walking around the back part of the park in that swampy area looking for frogs and shit, and I found this really big one. And I don't know why. And I was a pitcher at the time. Like, I was pretty good at throwing the baseball. I was a starting pitcher, bro. And
That's why. That's exactly why.
but I fucking threw this frog
So
into a
hard.
fence, like, as hard as I could from, like, 10 feet away. Just, like... And then I found him, and he wasn't dead yet. He was, like, oh, like, convulsing.
How many
and shit.
legs
Just,
on
like,
it?
They were still all there. But, like, he was bleeding out of his mouth, and one of his eyes was, like, out and shit. And,
This fool just hit a car at fucking 90.
dude, it was so bad, and I just, like, stomped him out. super... And I remember the kid just, like, next to me being like, what the fuck?
You scarred this kid,
And I
yeah.
don't think I ever got to play with that kid ever again. That's good on that parents. That's some scary ass shit.
That's a whole genre of, like, my childhood is, like, I did something that I thought was going to be funny.
Dude, I think about that frog all the time.
It totally scarred everybody that I was hanging out with.
Like, I've killed a fish and ate it and everything. I never think about that fish. Or, you know what I mean?
It's different.
I think about it with, like, a good memory. When I think about that frog, I'm just always like, oh, yeah, I'm going to hell. Like, I signed up for that at a young age.
Yeah. At this point, though, it's like, so this is where Catholicism fucked up. The idea of original sin...
go on.
I always connect my shit back to, like, this is the big conspiracy.
Blake, he didn't preface himself at all. He's real big into philosophy.
Which just gives you the...
Not in a bad way.
You can change subject
Not in a bad way either.
In the most, like... you can change subject.
I just mean he went to
shit.
school and shit for it, you know?
Didn't finish.
It's okay.
It's okay.
COVID, baby. We got 10 years to complain about that.
Yeah. Honestly, like... Side note...
I'm going to be talking about the Appalachian Trail for 4 more years to everybody like it was the one that got away.
Yeah, you aren't.
No, I'm just kidding. We should do the Tahoe Rim Trail this year, though. I heard September's a good month to do it in because it's hella cold at nighttime.
How long does it take?
If you do it straight, you could do it in, I think it's 115 miles or something, so you could do it in like 10 days.
Bro,
we could do it in 10 days.
We got that.
But there's nowhere to get food, really. We'd have to, like...
I could pack in.
Mail ourselves food.
Let's mule it.
Halfway through it or something, or have somebody meet us somewhere with some food. But other than that, it would be totally easy. Be dope. And I've done pretty much the whole... I did it once with my soccer coach and his son a long time ago. But I barely remember that because he was such a dope camper that it was like I never felt like we hiked all that time. Like we would just hike a little bit each day and spend way more time camping, fishing, doing weird, shooting BB guns and shit. Like there was always playtime and shit, and it was like by the end it was like, oh shit, I've been gone for like 15 days.
That's fun.
I don't know, it was dope.
That's dope.
But I bet I think people do it in 9 days. People who are like hauling ass. All right, so Pete.
Honestly, that's a focus
because he's trying to get out of this right now. But
Pete,
we need to talk about this bird. This bird mentally abused you and tried to get you out of.
No, it was back and forth. It was back and forth. Like so, the thing is like, you're trying. So we try to put a lot of human emotions onto little creatures.
Sushi.
Exactly. And it's like, I don't know what that fool's going through. And the more I learn, the better it is to just, like, pay as little attention to it as possible. Which sounds like the slack way to do it, but it's been, like, that fool's, like, more like, hey, fool, like, I want you to hang out with me. He's more like, no, I'm not getting a rise out of you right now. I'm going to be sweet.
Mm.
He's so that's the funniest thing. Is
he's
like,
coy.
It's easier than everything's always easier than you think it is, you know what I mean? Like, and the bird was just...
speak bird yet.
The bird was a lot, you know what I mean? It's like hearing...
That's...
You go home to not have sounds.
I've never dealt with that. No.
Not having... To have not silence at your house is fucked up.
I hooked up with a girl that had a big-ass snake one time, and I just remember being like, nope.
What do you mean? The snake's fun.
Dude, it wasn't like a huge snake, like National Geographic, but it was big enough to kill a baby, for sure.
Yeah,
or like
half
a
the snakes
dog.
are.
I didn't... That girl with that snake is not the one for me. That's all I know. Alright, so the bird lives.
The bird lives. I have no hard feelings against him. I know it's like a time clock, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like... Ooh. Good kid. At this point, I've matured into being, like, okay with everything. You know what I mean?
All right,
as far as birds go. My situation right now is, like, I don't have to interact with them too much. I imagine one day when I do have to do that more often, it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Catch me then, is what I would say. But right now, especially, like, right now, everybody's on, like, a COVID, like, I need to think about some shit. So I be on some, like, oh, I'm chilling right now. I'm not having no problems.
Why is the world getting serious when I'm 30? This is crazy.
That's fucking
dude, I went out to the bar after we hung out that whole night.
nice.
Which was hella fun. Or hanging out with you was hella fun. But I went out to...
Which bar did you go to?
Dude, so I hit up Donovan, and he was at 40 Mile, and he was like, come by. And so I went over there. I walked like halfway there, got hella cold, and walked back and got a sweatshirt, and then walked there. And then when I got there, Donovan was like in the middle of this huge rant. And he was like when I rounded the corner, he's like, Jaron, snooze? Snooze? You know what I'm talking about? Snooze? And I was like,
Not my hill.
He was like giving me the thumbs up, and everybody was like, no, boo, thumbs down. And there was a shitload of people at the table. I couldn't even like process the crowd at all. And I was just like, snooze, snooze, snooze. And like all the weird fucking outliers of the group started chanting with me. And I didn't know what was going on. And then I like processed who was right in front of me, and it was like Tara, Brigden, this dude, I can't remember his name right now.
Wait. Does Donovan know?
No.
Of course not.
No,
or else he wouldn't have done
he's
that.
a good guy. He doesn't do shit like that. He wouldn't have fucking booby-trapped me like that.
Booby-trapped yourself.
This dude that I almost got into a fist fight with. And then his homie that was there, and I was talking hella shit to also. And I was just like, oh my god, this is like a fucking minefield right now. And so I just like didn't say anything to any of them. Fucking hung out with Donovan a little bit. Kayla was there. A couple cool people were there. And I'm not saying they're not cool. It's just like we don't talk. And that, I don't know. It was just weird. Like,
I feel like that's why people fall out of bar scenes. Is like once you know everybody, you're just like.
I immediately regretted going. I was just like, ugh. And then I didn't even want to drink at all because I was fucking. I feel like we both drank a 6-pack that night.
No, we drank 2 6-packs. Yeah, we both did.
Yeah. So I was just like, I'm good. And then people were still buying me some drinks, which was tight. And all right, we're back.
We're back.
Okay, you just turned it on. Didn't even tell me. You just gonna turn it on?
Figured it was better to get it done now than later.
All right. Well, the computer turned off just now. If you're wondering why the conversation 100% changed.
We circled back to not only Catholicism, but just everything that we
Big
left
Randy?
hanging. Big Randy. That was
a big circle back, dude. Don't act like that was just like side one.
We connected Big Randy to the Reed family, and y'all ain't gonna be able to hear any of that.
All right, this is bullshit. We're getting back to my questions, bro.
The Pete one really, if anything is as hardball as the Pete question, I don't know if I'll make round 2. That's all I'm gonna say.
I've kept them fairly offensive. Excluding Caucasians, what is your least favorite race?
Race of humans?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say either the Greys or you didn't like that one.
Pussy.
Okay. That's a lot to put on us.
Yeah, this will get you arrested in like fucking Portland. It's a hypothetical question too, or you know what I mean. It's like this is a sleepover question, you know. Would you rather?
It's like, I don't even know. Like, I guess.
It's not
Besides
like I phrased. It's
white
not like I
people is the only
phrased it
people I
with,
interact with.
and then we will cleanse this race off the face of the earth.
I know
didn't
what the
say
question
anything
is.
like that.
It's hard to deal with race as a person that just doesn't deal with race.
You should just go with your gut instincts on this one.
I want to say Chinese.
Ooh, that's a fun answer.
That's not even like on some like. I've interacted with people. I have any stories just like. China, as a blue-blooded American,
Yeah.
which is
That's
like,
a good answer, dude. I got no problems.
Like, I fuck with Russia.
Yeah.
Not on like I suck Putin's dick
Russians
type
are just
shit.
weird and interesting. So are Chinese, but Chinese are more interesting in the sense that they're so ancient, and it's like, I'm not so much fascinated with like modern day China as much as I am with the just like, ooh, the East and the fucking, you know what I mean, like the China of my childhood.
If I had to give like a,
They aged poorly.
like a true, not gut reaction, like I thought about it a little bit, I'd say Uruguayans.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which.
You hear that?
So get this. So the.
Wow.
I always harsh on anybody that fucks with Tapatio. Do you know why?
Because it's not that good.
That's answer 2.
No. Then no.
The guy on the bottle has blue eyes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're probably on some like
Everybody in Uruguay is white.
German.
Not even that.
World War II.
The white people are just there. That's like the point of Uruguay is it's like we were the white.
So you picked basically Caucasians to be the answer for the only rule was not Caucasians.
Yeah, I guess I did do that, huh?
A little bit. You pussy. All right, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, fucking.
We'll move on.
Let's
We'll
move it along. What is this? A fucking 20 questions?
They're fun questions. Am I right? Okay.
Who's fun here?
Who's fun here? Who's fun over there? Got any apocalypse plans? Question mark.
Honestly, if shit hit the fan, I'd go to Wisconsin, you know? That'd be my move. I'd be out there in the trees.
Do harsh that winter? Or, what did I say? Harsh that winter? Is that a term?
That winter would harsh me, that's for damn sure.
Could you handle that harsh winter?
Nah, honestly, I don't think it could, honestly, because the high desert really be treating us nice. Like, who knows what I would do? Maybe I would just batten down.
And they have huge mosquitoes and shit, too.
I would see what my sitch is, like, you know what I mean? I would see who my people were that were, like, with the shit. Because we got a lot of guns in our house.
Oh, you put this in here.
Uh-huh.
I was like, dude, I got a short cigarette. Look at this. It's like a fucking unicorn. So you'd go to Wisconsin.
Or I would just hold it down in Sparks, yeah.
How would you get there? It's the apocalypse.
Well, shit, you only got to drive, 3 days.
Dude, the roads are gone during the apocalypse. You know that, right? You can't use them. It's just, it's the perfect hunting ground.
I don't know. I think, honestly, as, a...
It only takes, 10 feet of metal to ruin the whole road.
I know it wouldn't work.
In both directions.
I would be one of those, cars that's on the road that didn't make it. You know what I mean?
It's coming up, dude.
But, so...
That's why you gotta have more... You gotta have, a on-foot plan, I think. You know what I mean? Just, powers out, EMP or something. Boom.
You gotta track a strange trail.
You gotta track a strange trail. Yeah. What do you, okay, so you're on foot.
What do? I stay at home.
What would you...
I'd rob all my neighbors.
You got one bag. Yeah, you would definitely have your gun.
Yeah, obviously.
You'd rob your neighbors.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Not immediately, but, seriously, this is what my... if I had to keep it local...
But what would you even steal?
All their food. I know them fools got a fucking, a bean cabinet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that means they have shotguns.
yeah, but Larry's fucking that fool weighs to me every day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So, like, this is not comfortable zone. But if it really came down to it, and it was like, we're all shacked up here. This is our house. Those houses are also ours now. And you know what I mean? Like, that's a terrible way to think about things. And I don't even know if I could, like, legit pull it off. Like, there'd be some loose ends, but that would be the move. Like,
this is just